Welcome, families. During these unsettling and wary times with school closures due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we understand that your lives and routines are disrupted. We hope that you and your children are safe and well at home. To support you and your learners at home, we want to remind you that we're here and that we care. We know you're busy, so without overwhelming you with too much information, we are going to take a few moments to share some resources to support your learners at home with special needs. Before we begin, we'd like to introduce ourselves. My name is Janet Stuck, and presenting with me is my colleague Deirdre Ducharme. We work for the Performance Office at the Connecticut State Department of Education and often work closely on projects related to supporting students with disabilities and students who are English learners. We recognize there are many valuable resources available online for our educators and local administrators. However, this session is for you. You were your child's first teacher, and you continue to be one of the most critical teachers in your child's life. You know your child's strengths and needs and what motivates them. You have firsthand experience with the best strategies to support your learner. In this presentation, we are going to highlight a sample of resources specifically developed by the Connecticut State Department of Education, along with some valuable resources developed and shared by other states and national groups. We will be providing additional webinars to highlight other topics and resources for you in the future. At the Connecticut State Department of Education, there are a variety of support partners who are here to assist you. Here are consultants from the Health and Family Support Service Unit, the Bureau of Special Education, and the Academic Office, including our English learner consultant with their contact information. First and foremost, our goal is to empower you. We want our families to be safe, engaged, and move through their days with a balance between work and relaxation. Our goals support keeping families safe, keeping children engaged, maintaining a balance that works for your family, and establishing a routine between work, school, and play.
Materials posted to the Connecticut State Department of Education's COVID-19 Resources for Families and Educators webpage is continually being updated to support families while schools are closed. Please note that throughout this presentation, you will see a link icon associated with a particular image. This indicates that the image is hyperlinked to the online resource. If using a PDF format, click on the image for direct access. Currently, you can see 3 volumes of topic-specific resources available. Volume 1 contains links to compiled supports for learners by grade and subject, along with resources for English learners. As displayed on the slide, an arrow points to Volume 2, which provides additional online learning resources along with specific information to support students with disabilities, English learners, and social, emotional learning and behavioral health resources. Volume 3 includes suggested best practices for schools related to distant learning. As parents of learners with special needs, we encourage you to check video recordings on various topics by selecting the Professional Support Services for Family option displayed in the center of this slide. Here you will find topics related to social emotional health, English learners, students with disabilities, and early childhood education. We will now look at some of the resources from the CSDE COVID-19 webpage. Recognizing this experience is new to all of us, we know how difficult and stressful it can be for parents to self-care and manage out work from home responsibilities while providing a safe and structured learning environment, while potentially caring for loved ones recovering from COVID. Furthermore, we recognize that this experience is challenging for children. The webinar referenced on this slide supports families as they talk with children about their fears and help reduce anxiety using developmentally appropriate strategies with an emphasis on safety. You can also access a PDF of this presentation along with social emotional family resources available on the CSDE Professional Support Series for Families page. The Connecticut State Department of Education and the Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center, CPAC, is collaborating to provide guidance and support for families of children and young adults with special needs. During this recorded session, they share information and resources to support student learning in the home. For example, the Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center provides opportunities through Zoom, including interactive Spanish video chats held weekdays at 1 p.m., presentations in Spanish at 4 p.m. weekly with a question and answer series, and reach out calls scheduled on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. This presentation, focusing on English learners, shares free online resources that can be used with your children at home during school closures. These resources can help your child continue to learn English while maintaining their home language, develop literacy and math skills, and continue to prepare for college and careers, while also supporting their social and emotional needs.
At the Connecticut State Department of Education, we continue to work with other states to compile resources to support families and all learners. This collaboration occurs year-round. However, during this pandemic, specific subgroups meet even more frequently to share the latest resources to support educators and families with learners with special needs, including those with significant cognitive disabilities. Today, we will highlight resources from two states, Arkansas and West Virginia. Prior to sharing these resources, we want to remind you that since these resources are from other states, the educational standards they require for their teachers and students may be slightly different from Connecticut's core standards. We have shared the link to Connecticut standards here for your reference, and these standards may be applied to many of the strategies and activities offered in this presentation. This resource page, created by Arkansas, is designed to provide resources for students with disabilities. Note that it includes pre-kindergarten. Suggestions include resource descriptions as well as links to online visual timers, adding captions, Google extensions, and more. This webpage from Arkansas is specific for students with significant cognitive disabilities. It is very user-friendly and includes both digital and print resources by grade band. For example, let's look at a sample designed for students in grades K through 3. This table represents a daily schedule with everyday activities that can be enhanced with guidance. Keep in mind the intent of sharing this resource is for families to select a few activities to try that might work for your child based on their needs and the needs of the family. In this sample, morning activities are included and associated subject areas and skills that the activity addresses, along with a virtual and technology-free activity that can be accessed or downloaded. We recommend viewing these videos and activities in advance to to determine the appropriateness aligned to your students' skills and needs. As a reminder, the same format is applied in each grade band. Here is the sample of afternoon activities for students in grades 4 through 8. Families can prepare lunch together or enjoy movement and exercise using story maps, visual boards, or interactive programs such as Go Noodle. Similarly, here is a sample of evening activities for students in grades 9 through 12, with activities that are interactive and engaging, such as taking virtual field trips to the zoo and museums. Let's take a look at some of the resources included. Generally, as parents, we want our children to be as independent as possible while remaining safe. This is a good resource for encouraging our children, including those with special needs, to feel part of the family and have responsibilities. This video can support children learning how to set the table, and they can self-check along the way. On many videos, you can reset the speed so your child is comfortable processing the language. Also consider turning on closed captioning if your child is hearing impaired, or if you want to demonstrate the connection and learning related to visual and spoken language. This site, Just Books, reads books aloud to your child. When selecting books read on a video, remember to consider the volume and speed. The setting options associated with these videos permit you to adjust the speed. Closed captioning is also available. Additionally, this site provides books in other languages, including English, Spanish, French, Italian, German, or Japanese. This is an example from the technology-free activity portion of the web page from Arkansas. You can access visual recipes by signing up for a free account. You will receive your selected visual recipe with step-by-step instructions via your email account to download, print, and cook. Here are some of the steps for chocolate strawberry waffles. Yummy! Included with the visual recipes are worksheets about the activity. These are examples that reflect the comprehension type activities. Some children need support with communication. While in school, your child may have access to augmentative and alternative communication, AAC, strategies, tools, or devices. Here is an example of a communication board that a child may use to express their needs or wants during a meal. Parents may use the communication board to encourage language or clarify what they think the child might want to express.
The next set of resources, we will present to you information from our partners at the West Virginia State Department of Education. These resources are specific for families and are shared for elementary, middle, and secondary learners. Similar to the resources developed by Arkansas, these materials include both digital and screen-free resources, as well as recorded lessons available through their local television station. As a reminder, if you find a lesson or tool that meets your child's needs, you may need to adapt the instructional component to be aligned to the Connecticut academic standards. This is an example of the list of screen-free resources suggested at the elementary level, organized by academic disciplines and areas of art, health, and wellness. These activities make everyday functional activities, such as setting the table and preparing meals, an opportunity to enhance learning and togetherness. As a parent of a learner with special needs, you can readily access ideas based on subject area and modify them to meet your child's access and communication needs. Here are some suggestions that promote student interactions with literacy, mathematics, and science. For this literacy example, you may modify this activity by reading aloud, signing, or talking with your child about the text features and illustrations on the page. For math, your special needs learner may need a visual model or physical assistance to access this activity. Consider the pattern varieties that can be used, such as colors, shapes, textures, or even sounds. If engaging your child with one of the suggested science activities, consider different recipes available for making dough or slime, which can be fun for the whole family and provide sensory gratification to your learner. When creating a weather chart with your child, track and identify the weather descriptions that are developmentally appropriate for your child, or provide your learner with a word list or word bank. Learners can illustrate the various weather categories in addition to making a 7-day chart that monitors and captures daily weather. Then the chart can be used to count how many weather types are captured throughout the day or week and used to make predictions. These are examples of technology-free resources for middle and high school levels by subject area. For older children with special needs, especially those with significant cognitive disabilities, activities shared cover multiple subject areas and can be enhanced or modified to meet your needs. Before using them, consider your learner's access and communication needs so that you can prepare ahead of time. The interview activity here allows your child to remain connected to family and friends, even if it is virtual. If your child is nonverbal, programs such as Zoom, FaceTime, or Duo allows them to see and feel included in this process. A bulk of contacts or including responses from family members can be a great way to capture these personal stories and share memories. Directions for the science activities are posted on the West Virginia webpage for information on conducting these interactive and engaging science activities with your learner. Recognizing that not all households have access to digital resources, West Virginia, like many other states, are thinking outside of the box. They have created lessons by collaborating with their local television station. Parents and learners can access a menu of grade-level lessons from the West Virginia webpage or from the West Virginia Public Broadcasting directly. Here is West Virginia's resource page dedicated to students with disabilities. Although the resource is organized by disability category, we strongly recommend looking beyond these standalone categories, as you might find activities that are totally appropriate and work well for your child based on characteristics of your student's learning style and access needs. This Path to Literacy resource is an example from the Students with Disabilities webpage under the category of blind and low vision. You can see that it has valuable information for a variety of students. This particular topic addresses the importance of establishing a routine. It also includes an activity to promote using tangible symbols at home. Additionally, it provides access to a webinar series for learners with topics such as yoga, understanding sarcasm, problem solving, and more. Parents, notice that on the left-hand portion of this slide, you'll find posts and blogs on a variety of topics as well.
We have also been compiling resources developed by our national educational partners to support the educational needs of students with disabilities, including those with significant cognitive disabilities. We will highlight two national groups in this presentation, the first being the Center for Parent Information and Resources. The second organization, the Center for Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports, provides activities and resources for the home environment. The Center for Parent Resources and Information is a national organization designed specifically to support parents. Many of the resources are available in multiple languages. The CIPR Resource Library houses over 1,100 family-friendly informational or research-based materials on key topics for parent centers. Resources include fact sheets and training materials about the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, parent guides, explanations of early intervention and special education, the Individualized Family Service Plan, the Individualized Education Program, and transition planning. The library also includes webinars on priority topics such as early learning, self-advocacy, skill building, assessments, and more. Many Connecticut schools include positive behavioral interventions and supports, PBIS, in their classrooms. This evidence-based framework supports students while at school. The national organization is funded by the United States Department of Education and is designed to improve the effectiveness, efficiency, and equity of schools and other agencies. Positive behavior interventions and supports improve social, emotional, and academic outcomes for all students, including students with disabilities and students from underrepresented groups. The Center on PBIS has created resources to support you while at home. The recommendations in this document start with establishing routines with your learner, including how to adapt elementary and secondary school routines to the home environment. Another recommendation is to set home expectations of behavior that are consistent with those established in the classroom and at school. A third recommendation focuses on emphasizing positive feedback over correcting behavior. The rule of thumb is aiming for a ratio of 5 positive to 1 corrective. This recommendation includes strategies such as reminding children about expectations before an activity and rewarding use of PBIS in home. Additional suggestions are given to promote regular and open communication with your child's teacher and educators, being creative, enhancing well-being, and modeling good behavior in the home environment. This is an example from the Supporting Families at Home document from PBIS. Remember that you may need to modify the number and length of activities in addition to how the activity is presented to meet the unique needs of your learner. Here are some great websites provided for ideas and activities to support social, physical, and academic engagement. We are big fans of Go Noodle. The Connecticut State Department of Education will offer additional webinars and resources for parents of learners with disabilities, including those with significant cognitive disabilities. Please let us know if you have suggestions or other topics that would support you and your learner during this time of focused learning at home. Please email us your comments and feedback. You've got this, and we're here to help. Stay healthy and be safe. Thank you.